Hey everyone, today we are taking a look back at January and all of the favourite and not so favourite products that I tried this month. We have a good few to get through, so if you are interested in hearing about the ones that did stand out to me for one reason or another, then please do keep on watching. I don't really have that many complete fails for the month, but the ones that didn't really work for me, I will save till the end. On my eyes today, I have some makeup from an indie brand called Magical Makeup. So the owner of Magical Makeup, Carrie, she reached out to me just to ask if I would like to receive some of her glitters because I love shimmers, I love glitters, and she had obviously seen that. So I was absolutely delighted to receive some of her products. So I have not been sponsored to tell you about this makeup. And actually the links that I will leave in the description box for this makeup won't even be affiliated. So she sent me a little palette and that's what I have on my eyes today. And it's called the Cappuccino palette. So this is a shimmering spectrum of sparkling coffee themed shimmers and mattes. I can tell you that these are of the highest quality. So I've used this whole top row today and I've used this shade, which is Brown Sugar. So let me just swatch a couple of these shimmers for you. This is Gold Blend. Look at that. And this is the one I have on now, which is Brown Sugar. The last one is Espresso. I mean, come on. They are absolutely incredible. So if you are like me and you do love and appreciate high impact shimmery shadows, you cannot go wrong with anything from Magical Makeup. But not only did they send me this beautiful little compact palette, but Magical Makeup are more well known for their individual glitter pots, and these are very, very affordable. I think prices begin at around £8 and they do ship internationally because I made sure that I asked that because most of my audience come from the US. So this is the shade Pink Diamonds. It comes in a little pot like this. I'll show you on my hand there. You see how glittery and beautiful that is. I mean, they're all absolutely stunning. I would be more inclined, just for my preference, to go for these shimmers, and they wash so easily because sometimes I get a little bit put off using glitters sometimes because I worry that they're going to be left on my face, but I couldn't believe how easily these washed off. So absolutely beautiful eyeshadow. So whether you want full on glitter or you want high impact shimmers like this, and that's how it looks on the lid. And by the way, I've not used any eyeshadow primer. I just put this onto my bare lids. These shadows could come from any Natasha Denona palette. They could come from any Pat McGrath palette. Look at how intense they are, but they're also wearable, and you know that I'm pretty boring when it comes to eyeshadow, but these, I would wear any of these and be quite happy. So I really wanted to include Magical Makeup in my favorites for this month because I have been really enjoying using their products. So I really do want to try and include more indie brands on the channel. We're always covering brands like Hourglass and Elf who don't have to do anything to sell their products, but I would really like to feature indie brands that do produce high quality makeup. I mean, look at this. So if you want to check them out in the UK, they do stock in Superdrug, but you will find a better range of their products on their actual website, which I will link in the description box below. And in the US, if you go straight to their website. But yeah, if you like a bit of shimmer like I do, you're gonna love these. My next favourite product for this month is the new L'Oreal Paradise Big Deal Mascara. So I've been using this for a few weeks now and my opinion has not changed on it. I definitely think it's one of L'Oreal's best mascaras. So my top two from L'Oreal are this new Big Deal Mascara and the L'Oreal Panorama. Very different actually. I think you will get more impact with less work with the L'Oreal Panorama, but with the Big Deal, because it has quite a plasticky wand, it can make application take a little bit longer for me anyway. So it doesn't really drag onto your lashes and stretch them out. So for me, it takes me a little bit more time to do my eyelashes, but it will give you a very high impact finish. I do feel like it's more lengthening than it is volumizing, but I still think you get a bit of each. Here's the thing. I think that the drugstore do mascaras probably better than high-end. There are, of course, some high-end mascaras that I do think are very, very premium, and I have a whole video dedicated to testing out high-end mascaras, and there are some that are just real quality. But as a whole, I genuinely think the drugstore do it better. The only issue I have with drugstore mascaras is the price. So I think L'Oreal, Maybelline, they have kind of moved out of the realm of traditional drugstore prices. You can still get really good mascaras for traditional drugstore prices. So one of my favorite all-time mascaras comes from Essence, which is the Lash Without Limits. That will cost you about £3 or £4, which is what drugstore mascaras should cost, and they are quality. This is just as good as the Essence, but it costs maybe 3-4 times as much. So I think it's a great mascara. I just do have a little bit of a problem with their prices. Next, we have a new foundation from Hourglass. This is their new Illusion Luminous Glow Foundation with SPF 30. I have a dedicated review to this on my channel, and I will link it here for you. And I did compare this foundation to their other foundation, so their Skin Tint and the Ambient Glow Foundation. So I have it on today, and I think their shades can run a little bit warm. I've generally been fairly lucky with them. I feel like I chose the right model, right shade description, but it turned out to be too dark. I just wish they had a chart where they compared all of their foundations and gave you help that way, but instead they matched up this foundation with their Hourglass Vanish Concealer and tried to help you choose your shade that way, which wasn't helpful at all. That is fairly annoying. I think they should do more to help you get your right shade, because this is £58, so it's a lot of money to waste. Luckily for me, it's still usable, and in the summer, it's going to be an ideal shade. So I have powdered down, and with this foundation, I do need to powder down because it's extremely glowy. It's extremely, I would say, dewy. That's how I would describe this foundation. And I would say that this is made for people with dry or normal to dry skin. So my skin does enjoy it. It really does like this foundation. I love this foundation. I love how it doesn't cling onto any dry patches. It just feels, as I said in my review, it feels like a really thick hydrating moisturiser, but sometimes that can feel a little bit icky because it does take a while to dry down. I love it once it's been powdered. So I've used a powder today, and I think it looks really, really nice. It gives a good medium coverage. I think it's really beautiful, but I can't use it without powder. That's the only thing. So definitely one that I've been enjoying, definitely one of my favorites of the month, despite my shade issues. Over this side of the world, so Ireland, UK, Europe, we are often the last people to get products, and we have only just received the Lumi liquid blushes from L'Oreal, and I had been absolutely desperate to try these because I adore liquid blush. I've already reviewed this in a drugstore video I did a couple of weeks ago. So they come in two different finishes, so a dewy and a glowy. So I had only tried this dewy blush, so dewy worth it. It's a very nude pink, isn't it? But it's slightly on the warm side. I then went out and picked up one of the glowy blushes. I had swatched this previously, but I was a little bit scared because it looked really, really kind of glittery on my hand when I swatched it in store. So this is Glowy True Rose, and I think it's really, really pretty. It's what I have on today. It's a little bit more sheer than what the dewy blush is, and it's a little bit luminous. I definitely prefer the shade to the dewy worth it. I thought it would be a little bit highlighter-esque, and I was worried because I have texture, you know, I have pores, all that kind of jazz. And I was worried that the blush would emphasize those things. And it does look a little bit, see there, it looks a bit reflective, doesn't it? But I don't think it's like that when it's on the face. I don't know. Or does it? Maybe I'm just not seeing big reflective cheeks. I don't know. Just being honest, I don't love the shade range. I think that could do with some improvement, and I'm hoping that L'Oreal will bring out some new shades in the future. But I absolutely have to praise the formula of these blushes. They really remind me of the Rare Beauty liquid blush, and obviously they are a lot cheaper. So this cost me €11. And the one thing that I've noticed about these is that they have amazing staying power. So liquid blushes are notorious for fading and fading quicker than the rest of your makeup, whereas I feel like these stick around all day. So they are an incredible formula, and given L'Oreal's high prices, I don't think these are too bad for what you get. They are really seriously high quality. I think L'Oreal have delivered an amazing product there, and I just wish they'd bring out some more shades. So come on, L'Oreal, give us some more shades. I'd love some cool tone shades actually. But yeah, they're absolutely beautiful and definitely one of my favorites of the month. So in my last video, I reviewed Victoria Beckham Beauty because I tested it all throughout January for the first time, and I had such an amazing experience. So I will say that I liked all of her products. So I could feature all of her products, to be fair, in this video, but I am going to talk about my favorites from the range that I tried, and the eyeliner was an absolute experience. Now, I won't use eyeliner every single day, but I have been using it most days because this is just so easy to use. It's an eyeliner that I genuinely think everybody can get on board with, everybody will be able to use, even someone like me who's not very good with eyeliner and can sometimes be a little bit scared of it. So I have this in the shade Cocoa, which is kind of a deep brown, and I would always choose a brown rather than a black eyeliner. I just think it's a little bit softer, not as harsh, but still very impactful. So I don't create big huge wings because I can't do them, and I really struggle with my deep set eyes. But I tend to use this on the outer third of my eye and kind of smudge it out and use it on my lower lash line as well. It's very, very versatile, and it has this great smudger brush on the end, which is extremely useful. You know, you get those eyeshadow palettes that come with that little applicator that you're supposed to put your eyeshadow on with, and we all just throw them away. Well, this is not like that. This is definitely a tool that you will use that will help to smudge out and smoke out your eyeliner. So that has been a real highlight for me in January. I just can't tell you how much I love this eyeliner. It's super. I'm moving on to another Victoria Beckham item now, and you saw how giddy I got about this in my recent video. This is her bronzing brick, and I know this has been out for years because I've had my eye on it for years because it is expensive, and I think it cost me about €79. However, I was able to get it in a set with the concealer, so I saved 10%. So that's a great option. I mean, I know it's only 10%, but it's 10% better with you than with her. It really is a product that lives up to the hype. I think the only thing that would put people off is the weightiness of this compact. So it has a beautiful gold and tortoiseshell compact, and it's beautiful. It has a lovely mirror here, which is so handy. This is shade 02, by the way, but it's really, really weighty, and I worry about dropping it. I wonder whether the weightiness would protect the product or whether it would just go crashing. I don't want to find out. I do not want to find out. But for those of you who do know me, you'll know that I live for cream bronzers, cream liquid bronzers. I just find them more flattering on my skin because my skin is more mature and it is a little bit drier, but this has absolutely blown my socks off, and I can't say that for a lot of powder bronzers. This has been such an absolute delight to use. I use it every day now, and I know I'm so late to the party, but I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered about being late to the party because sometimes you have to take a step back and think about a product, especially an expensive one, and think, do you really need it? Well, not do you really need it, but do you really, really want it? So yeah, I'm absolutely delighted. This is definitely one of my favorite bronzers of all time. Like, that is without a doubt, I can safely say that. So yeah, a really, really beautiful powder bronzer and contour from Victoria Beckham. My last Victoria Beckham product is the lipstick. I have her Posh lipstick in the shade Spark. I just love how flattering it is, how full it can make your lips look. Like, I have small lips, I don't have any filler in my lips, and I can over apply this lipstick and it won't look silly. So that's the shade Spark, and I think it doesn't look that good on a swatch, but when it's actually on the lips, I think it's stunning. It's just so lovely. I would say this is more of a satin finish lipstick. It lasts so incredibly well. I've just never had a lipstick that has that beautiful sheen, and even after you've eaten or drank something, it won't budge all over your face. Just really lovely. Victoria Beckham has my heart. My next favourite from January comes from e.l.f. and this was a real surprise to me because I genuinely believed that I would hate this product, and it's the e.l.f. Halo Glow Pressed Powder. First of all, I wasn't going to buy it because it's £14, and I think that has to be one of, if not the most expensive e.l.f. product, surely. And I am not the biggest fan of their loose powder, so the Halo Glow loose powder. I mean, it's fine and I'll use it if I have to, but it wouldn't be one that I would choose. So I picked it up in the shade Light Neutral, which is absolutely perfect. I do tend to go a little bit lighter with my powders. When I'd heard about this powder, I thought to myself, well, this is going to be full of shimmer, it's going to be full of glitter, and that is the last thing that I really want in a powder, especially a pressed powder. This just gives you the most incredible soft focus finish to your skin. It's the powder that I've used today, so I would never use this under my eyes because it's a pressed powder. I definitely prefer to use very finely milled loose powders under the eyes. I think they are much more flattering, much more hydrating than you will find with a pressed powder. So I definitely wouldn't use it under my eyes, and especially because it's a luminous, glowy type product. This is a powder that's going to give you a beautiful, filtered, luminous effect to the skin. And in my review on this, I mentioned that I thought it was very, very similar to my Hourglass finishing powder. The more that I've used this, I've just been thinking about those similarities with that finishing powder. And I mentioned in my review that I found that this is, rather than a setting powder, it's more of a finishing powder. And when I went back to read about this powder, it is actually a finishing powder. It's not a setting powder. So if you're wondering what the difference between a setting powder and a finishing powder is, so a setting powder is there to keep your makeup in place, so prevent those oils from coming through and just keeping everything looking lovely all day. Whereas a finishing powder has much more of a blurring effect. It's going to blur those pores. It's going to give you a lovely filtered effect to the skin. So the job really isn't to set your makeup in place, but it will still help to do that. If you like a flat matte complexion, then don't go anywhere near this. I have this super glowy foundation on today and this glowy powder. Don't think I look ridiculously glowy. This has still brought down the shine of this, and it just looks really nice. It really is an incredible powder. Genuinely didn't think I would like it. So that for me is an incredible lesson not to judge a product before you've tried it. I'm really, really happy with that. And if you're looking for a beautiful, airbrushed, blurred complexion that has a gorgeous amount of luminosity, you'll really like this powder from e.l.f. Another one of my favourites for the month is the Lisa Eldridge Pinpoint Concealer. I'm a little bit scared to talk about this because this has been a very controversial product. People are extremely infuriated at the price of this product and the little amount of product that you get. I bought two and they were €33 each, which I think was about £27. And you do get a tiny amount of product. I think it's about 0.4 grams of product, which is a teeny tiny amount. And I can understand why people are infuriated with the minimal amount of product, because people are saying, well, I'm going to go through that really quickly. The price doesn't match what we receive. And I can completely get that. I think if we just look at what this product is, so it's a very, very accurate concealer. So it's designed for very micro issues on your face. So for me, I use it on my nose for my broken capillaries, and I'll use it for little bits of rosacea or spots and blemishes around my face, and it works really, really nicely. It's not designed for under the eyes, so I think people don't see it as a versatile concealer, and people think, well, I'm just going to use my NARS pot concealer or a different kind of concealer pen, and that will be a lot more value for money. And I do not disagree with that at all. I have millions of concealers. I have the NARS pot concealer, I have full coverage concealers, and I did mention in that video that I've tried picking up really precise brushes and trying to conceal my capillaries, but nothing has worked like this, and that's still a fact. Nothing has worked like this. Just the precise 1.5mm tip just helps to conceal. It's a great product. It sticks around all day. And here's the thing, and look, you are looking at someone who's a little bit of a cheapskate, all right? I do not like spending massive amounts of money. And you can see this where I recently posted a video reviewing Victoria Beckham's makeup because I just would not pay those prices. And it took me a long time to get to a place where I was willing to pay those extortionate prices. And let's be honest, they are extortionate. But I knew I was paying for Victoria Beckham. I knew I was paying for the brand. So I think there is an element of that we need to take into consideration. Lisa Eldridge is a luxury brand, and it took me ages to try her products. I mean, it took me years to try her products because I just wasn't willing to spend those prices. And I haven't loved all of her makeup. For example, her foundation, I don't think it's great. I don't like it. It's not worked for me. I've tried it so many different ways, and I don't think it's as good as some of my drugstore foundations. But that doesn't mean that it's not good for somebody else. And that doesn't mean that somebody else doesn't love that foundation and think it's the best thing on the planet and would pay €100 for it because it makes their skin look amazing. We've got to understand that luxury brands can charge what they like, and that is what it is. And I've just come to accept that that is what it is. If I don't want to pay for a product, I'm not going to pay it. So there's plenty of products that I've not bought because they are just ridiculous. This concealer pen has really given me confidence. It has given me something that everything else has failed to do. But that's my story. That's just my experience. For the next person, this is going to be useless and it may as well just be left in a drawer. So I think we just need to take so many things into consideration. And the first one is that luxury brands are going to charge what they like, and it's up to us whether we pay it or not. And then the second point is that not all products are going to work for us. So what works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. I think we just need to be wise in our choices, and it's okay to be angry at high prices. I mean, do you think I really wanted to pay €75 for a Victoria Beckham concealer that I just think is nice? And I just think we should say, your prices are too high. I'm not going to buy from you anymore because I'm not getting my money's worth from your products. That's it. But that being said, I've really enjoyed this concealer pen. It's definitely been one of my favourites of the month. However, I'm going to show you something. So these are the two that I bought. So this is my most used one, which is shade 5, and this is shade 3. Can you notice a difference between the two? Writing on this one, and then no writing on this one. All of the gold writing has come off my pen. Now, I've used it every day, but I've not been like going crazy with it. All the gold lettering has been removed, which is disappointing. It's very disappointing because I obviously paid for the packaging in the price that I paid for this pencil, and I don't even know what shade this is anymore because everything has been wiped off it. So that is very, very disappointing for me, and I can understand why somebody would be absolutely angry about something like that when it comes to paying for a product. I think this is a massive fail for this pencil. I know it's only the writing, but it's the whole package, isn't it? I've paid for that. This contributes to people being angry about a luxury product being charged extortionate prices and then getting something like that. And I am mad about that, actually, but it doesn't stop it being one of my favourite products of the month. It's really been a game changer for me, and yeah, I really do enjoy it. My last favourite is a skincare product, and this is from the Ordinary. This is the Natural Moisturising Factors PhytoCeramides. This is a very, very nourishing moisturiser. It is formulated with 4 times more moisturising emollients and 2 times more humectants than our natural moisturising factors. So incredibly hydrating, and it's very, very rich. The Ordinary are known for being very, very affordable. So this cost me £10, but you only get 30 ml of product, and this is a full-on moisturiser, so you will lather your face in this. So I'm already running out, and I'm only a month in. If you've been here before, you'll know that I've recently been on a trip to Lapland, and I have skin that is prone to drying anyway, but I came back and I've been in the horrors with how dry my skin is. This has completely sorted that out for me. This is such a rich moisturiser. And I mentioned in one of my videos that I'd started using a prescription topical treatment. So I have started on a very low dose of tretinoin. The only thing I would say is it takes a good while to absorb. So it will sit on the skin for a good while before it does sink in. So if you don't like that, then avoid this. I don't mind that in the evening time. This does say you could use it in the morning, but I would not use this in the morning because it is just a bit too heavy. But if you are after some hydration, if you're suffering with dryness or dry patches, because I was all over my face, this has completely erased all that dryness. So it's a beautiful product, but I don't think you get very much. So yeah, it really isn't that cheap when you think about it, but it's still a beautiful product and my favourite skincare product of the month for sure. So those are my absolute favourites of January, but I just wanted to mention 2 products that were not quite the best for me this month. And the first one is the e.l.f. Holy Strokes Microfine Brow Pen. This is just completely useless to me. I did even contact e.l.f. about it, and I did ask for a refund, but they ignored that and told me to use it this way, which I've tried. I tried all the ways that they told me. Look, eyebrow pens are notoriously tricky. It's so hard to find a really good one, but I live on my eyebrow pens. I have to use one to fake the brow hairs. So no matter whether I try fine hair strokes or I press hard, nothing seems to work. I know some people will be thinking, well, it's only £8. Why are you bothered? Yeah, I'm bothered about £8. Like, that's a lot of money for a product that doesn't work for me. So I would never recommend this brow product to anybody. If you have got this to work, then fair play to you. Let me know how you did it, because yeah, this is just money down the drain. The next product is not a fail, but it's a product that I'm still unsure of, and it's the L'Oreal Lumi Glow Tint. I don't know how I feel about this. So this is not really a skin tint for me. It's far too reflective and shiny, rather than giving a dewy and glowy base. For me, I look like the Tin Man when I've got it on. It's a little bit like putting a highlighter all over your face. That's the only way that I can kind of describe it to you. And I don't want a highlighter all over my face. Now, I did try it with the L'Oreal Plumping Tinted Serum, which is one of my all-time favourite skin tints. And I mixed in this with this, and it was really, really nice. However, you shouldn't have to mix in a product with another product to get it to work. And this wasn't cheap. I think it was around $17 because I had to get it from the US because they don't stock it here yet. It's not a product that I would encourage you to run out and get unless you like highlighter all over your face. I am probably not going to use this again anytime soon, but I'm going to revisit it in the summer because I think I might like it then. I think it's definitely more of a summer product, and obviously I live in Ireland and we ain't got no summer right now. This is a product that's not a fail. I'm just on the fence with it. I'm just not sure just yet how I feel about it. So that is my January roundup. Not all brand new products from this month, some new to me products, but that I've absolutely adored. It's been a very successful month, and that's what we want. We don't want wasted money. We don't want money down the drain. So you'll have to let me know what have been your favourite products that you've tried this month, what has blown you away, but also what has been a fail for you this month. Has there been anything that you've tried that you've just really not got on board with? Let me know down in the comments because I would absolutely love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I so appreciate you being here with me. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next one. But until then, take care and bye for now.